Hey guys, welcome to another video, and today I'm going to be teaching you all how to use text devices, counter devices, and how they interact with each other. So let's get into it. So right here I have a setup that when activated, you see there's a number 0 right here. Now if I click this button, I can add 1, subtract 1. And as you can see, this text device changes. And so does the color of this barrier. Now, let me show you how this works. First of all, down here I have 3 different barriers of 3 different colors. Red, orange, and yellow. I have some logic that says that if the counter number is 0, then it's orange. If it's 1 or greater, it's red. And if it's, if it's -1 or smaller, it's yellow. So let me show you how this works. So first of all, this is just a normal text device set to font size 100 and no text. This is nothing special, but the special part comes in the blocks. So here I have an on-wire pulse block. And what this does is, first it sets the text to a property that is called counter text. Then it has 3 if statements that all are basically the same. And they say if the property counter text is greater equals than 1, then it will activate the red barrier. If it's 0, it'll activate the orange barrier, and if it's -1 or lower, it activates the yellow barrier. So that's what the channel activate 3, activate 2, and activate 1s do. But channel's shut barrier just deletes all, basically deactivates all the barriers. So let's get this straight. You set the property, you change the property counter text, and if it's 5, then it will be this. So what happens if, let's say we change it to 5, we have, first, it checks it, then, let's say the number is 5, so it's greater than 1. It first broadcasts a message, shut barrier, which basically closes all of the barriers, and then it broadcasts another message that activates the correct barrier. So it shuts all the barriers and then activates the correct one. And that's what all of these do. So that's how the text works. These 2 buttons just update this counter. And that's the next most important device. So this counter is starting value 0. In increments, it adds by 1 when you have text, when it receives the text increment channel. And if you wanted to go smaller, it goes text decrement. Now, the important part here is that it updates a property, and the property is counter text. Oh, that's all for the counter device. Now, here's the property. Counter text is a number property that by default is 0, and it's a global property. Another important thing. The value needs to be broadcasted on game start, and I'll show you why later. So, let me show you. First, it's 0. The number by default is 0, so we have an orange barrier. If I use this button to add 1, it sends a signal on the channel increment counter, and it increments the counter. And as you can see, I can keep on adding. Nothing changes. Now, if I want to subtract, this will go on the channel decrement counter. Decrement. Now it's 1, 0, -1. You see? That is how this works. And basically the most important thing to note here is that blocks are really, really powerful. For example, using blocks, I can do whatever I want. Let's say we don't want to do this. Let's say instead of changing the color of changing between 3 different barriers, we can just change the color of the text. And voila! And this should work. If it doesn't work, it's going to be embarrassing. But as you can see, it works perfectly fine. So that is how you can use a text device as a counter. Alright, but the text device is really powerful and can be used for other things as well. For example, let's say I wanted to, I don't know, choose a level, like level name. So for example, let's say I grab a text device, make it very big, not that big, and say, and then this just can be anything because it will just be overrode later. Now, I can set it to whatever color. I'm gonna choose white with 10 on the stroke width, black. There you are. Here's a 0. Now, what we want to do here is, well, let's say I want to add a trigger. This time, instead of buttons, I can use a trigger, which will be equally helpful. Now here, I want to grab a counter device. Actually, you know what? Alright, I added a counter device right here. So this trigger will increment the counter. This trigger will decrement the counter. Simple as that. Let me grab the spawn point. And here. And if I test this, increment. This seems to not work. And the reason is because I forgot to set the wire. That has happened to me plenty of times, so just make sure you set the wire correctly. Alright, now I can update a property. So let's say it'll update the property called, let's just create a random property. Level number, and it's number type. Alright, perfect. And like always, let me just do this. So, now, this counter needs to update the property called level number. Now, when this property is updated, it needs to run the wire pulse block. And in the wire pulse block, now, this is the core part. I can set the text to create text with. Okay, the create text with block is really, really powerful. You can use it to add a player's name. You can use it to do whatever you want, really. Just combine multiple different properties, multiple different values, whatever you want. But for now, get property, level number, and text. Let me flip this around. And here you go. Level. And let me add a space. There you are. Level blank. So what this will set the text to is create text with level. So it will be level, get property level num. So if level number, the property is 1, then it'll say level 1. And let's test this. Level 0, level -1, and here you are. And this can just keep on going forever. It's basically the same as this counter. It's just, it has a little bit of text before it. So as you can see, text is really, really powerful and can do a lot of different things. And it works really well with the counter and property devices. Now, another thing that text can do is, well, anything, whatever you want. You can use text, like, of course, you can use text to decorate too, if you'd really want to. But, well, now that we have the shape device, who's going to decorate with text? But it can still be really useful. You can check, for example, you can check the level number, like name, and if it's, for example, this is an example. Let me grab a random prop. What about a bush? Here's a green bush. Now I can do inside this. Oh, first I can add availability. No. Show prop when receiving on. Show hide. There you are. Now I can go here, go into blocks, and let's say on wire post, right? Now if this is logic equal to if this is equal to level 3, do show. And before we do this, just broadcast a message on channel hide. And when I run this, hidden, 1, 2, 3, and it's here, and gone, and back again. So you can use text, for example. Let's say you needed to enter a code into some sort of like mechanism. You can then use an if statement to check, to check the code. It's really useful. Another thing you can do is, of course, use the setup in notifications. I've done this before, and in my custom death notifications tutorial. Over there, the notification device is similar to the text device, in which counters and property devices are very useful. All right, well, that's that, and this has been Mashpot, and Mashpot out.